here.
Welcome back to the early edition of the Hockey Nation Live Show with your hockey coach guru, Coach Frenchy, back and from the Sunshine State. And we have to go all the way that way. No, that way. Maybe that way. We don't know, but we know he's on the West Coast, the co-host, Michael DiVillano.
Oh boy, we already have Corey and Kaylee here.
Corey, welcome. Number one fans, Michael, of the Ottawa Senator. So I'm sure he's going to hear more about the Ottawa Senator. And we have the Lisa D. Delight Show, the number one cook, Michael, about the Mexican food. You should look about this. They are, every time she put a video, I'm pinching myself, running to my kitchen because she does an amazing, great video about food. It's just amazing. To be honest with you, I don't know how long it takes to make the video. It's just professional to the top, to be honest with you. So, and Kylie Porter is in the house this morning. Thanks, everybody, to join us. Don't forget to click on the likes. And, of course, if you are not subscribed, we invite you to subscribe to the show. That'd be awesome. And thanks again, everybody. You're welcome. Good morning. Tap the number one, Michael, the Frenchy quiz. He owned this night after night.
Oh, boy.
So, that's what's happening about the welcome, everybody.
I love it. Thanks, guys, for joining us. We had a really busy night last night in exhibition games and some interesting stories. I'm a poor-hearted Senators fan. You know me so well.
I want to mention one thing, Michael, before we start, because this is really in Canada. Bless you. Today is a national day for the truth and the reconciliation. So I don't know if you know exactly what it's all about. Honestly, we observe that national day for the opportunity to reflect and educate ourselves on the history and the intergenerational drama caused by the Indian residential school to the First Nation, the Métis, and the Inuit people for the challenge we continue to face to this day. So today, not all around the Canada, everybody is in orange. The many, like Montreal Canadiens, during those practices, tape the hockey stick and orange. So everything about today is in Canada for the Nationals. Like I mentioned, today, National Day for the Truth and Reconciliation. Big company like Bell and everyone, Tim Horton and Canada, they just want to mention that day. So I think it's really important to mention that it's all about the First Nations. So just want to express, this to you.
So that's interesting. Is this the first year that's been done?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah. That's really the first year where they're involved with the national hockey, everything like that. We are really now not, many people like the hockey team and everybody in Canada, and they wear that, like you think about the pink for the Kens, for the in November, everything like that. This is really the orange today. And you have other for the hope with the purple. Today is about the orange. So I just want to sharing with you about this. And really, this is in Canada. They bring this.
So I don't know if you know, my daughter is Potawatomi. She's Native and she has her Native status. And the residential school horror is ridiculous. We know we've had a history of a lot of Native players in hockey, and it's interesting. I think this is an important new, I don't know if you call it a holiday, but an day of observance, because even just recently, they've uncovered more graves of children in these residential schools that were sponsored by the Catholic Church and the government. So it's terrible. It's
the children never come back home, right? So that's what the key behind that. Crazy. And I think, for a year, we never talk about this. We never upset. At least that's the beauty of the social media now, right? And sometimes I have a very negative stuff about social media. On the flip side, you have to go with the positive side. And then it was just the right time to talk about this. I think it's like me and you, we never bring this on the table. So I just want to share what's happening around. So thanks to let us know about this also. Then we welcome also Yamo back in the house today. Johnny Golden from Moncton, New Brunswick, and welcome everybody to part of the show today. Don't forget to click on the likes, and that's what's happening, honestly, about this. Then today, Michael, maybe you don't know. Also, many of you do not know. Today is the first day in NHL. They have a rules 12 days before the beginning of the season. That's the open the waiver. So start
Oh, really?
today. Everything can put players on the contract on the waiver list, not the PDO, but the waiver list. So that's open up today. And this year, Michael, the time changing. It's now bring to 2 o'clock p.m., not at 12 o'clock, to give a chance to the the team league are in the West Coast have a 2 more extra hour early in the morning and not to rushing before 9 o'clock p.m. a.m. the morning. So that's the new rule about this on the waiver list from the NHL. Just want to sharing with you about that.
That's important. Okay, great.
Yeah, it's important. Waiver list is very important. Also, the team can make a couple of bucks per day, Michael, on the waiver list. Thirdly, I want to mention to you, I shared a bit yesterday, they are thinking between the wall or behind the wall to bring back the taxi squad at some level degrees. So we don't know how they're going to do it. They don't know if they will do it, but they talk about this. Some yesterday, the expert in NHL like Chris Johnson or Frank mentioned there may be the same rules. Where I'm a little bit not sure why they would use the same rules. Maybe the rules are the way they bring the salary cap and everything like that. But I'm just curious about why they would bring 28 players and not to get extra goaltender or maybe 2 extra players. So that's not sure about that. But
that would make sense. I mean, they have to expand it. I would be shocked if we don't go through an 82 game season without some positive testing, whether they're sick or not, but they're positive, and it's going to affect the roster. There's going to be games canceled. Like, I just think that's just what's going to happen. So I think having extra players is going to be very important.
Yep. So I just want to go that way with there. So
yep, good point. All right. Well, we had a lot of games last night in the exhibition. We know that there's mixed lineups, so there's interesting results, but there are people that are battling for jobs, and one of them is Bobby Ryan. Bobby Ryan finished the year injured last year. He had some good moments last year with the Red Wings. He's obviously always been a very talented player. Just very, very, he goes into long droughts where he doesn't contribute. But last night he contributed, Pierre. He had a goal and an assist, and then he scored the game winner in the shootout for the Detroit Red Wings versus Chicago. So there's some other interesting storylines here. Mitchell Stevens also scored. We continue to see actually really good play from Taro Hirose. So I think it's going to be interesting to Pierre to see what happens with him, because he's showing he's capable of playing the NHL. He's definitely improved his shot. He's always been a very good playmaker. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with him. We saw a nice goal from Michael Rasmussen, who showed he's got nice hands, man. He can really shoot the puck, Pierre. And then Jonathan Toews got his first point. So Jonathan Toews, who missed the entire season last year, comes back and in the first period gets an assist on the Dominic Kubalik goal. The only other thing I'll mention is Adam Ernie got 2 assists in this game, and Toews also scored in the shootout, as did Lucas Reichel. So I think there's some players here on both teams that are kind of vying. The goaltending was okay for Chicago. Lankinen is interesting. I think he's going to settle in as a backup for sure. I don't know what they do beyond this year. Did you watch any of this game, Pierre? Is there any comments or anything?
No.
It was a pretty good game. Obviously, it's not the full lineup for either team, but it's interesting to see. I'll be really surprised if they don't sign Bobby Ryan. He would be a really solid third-line player for them. But they do have a lot of young guys pushing on the door, and one of them is Hirose. So it's going to be interesting. And Ernie doesn't look like he's regressing. So if Ernie can keep going, that's good news for the Red Wings. We know that Dylan Larkin's still out and that Bertuzzi's going to miss some games. So to your point, here's a prime example of a team that's going to need a taxi squad.
Yep. I agree with you about that one there. On that game, honestly, just Jonathan Toews will come back, the captain for the Chicago Blackhawks. So I think it's great to see him. And he played a lot of minutes, I believe. Is it him? Someone played 20 minutes yesterday. I don't know which one. It's him. 22 minutes, Michael. Wow. 22 minutes yesterday.
Good news.
That's crazy if you think about that. So you can see he's important about, part of the lineup, everything like that. So it's just like, that's the reason I don't do the play-by-play right now. People asking me, why you don't do play-by-play? Because the team is halfway. Like, it's not like, what I mean? It's just like, I don't see it. Prefer to see the post game talking about hockey, everything like that. So great to see it. Great to see Buckstrom for the Chicago Blackhawks, where he's never been the expectation of what he was with DU. Buckstrom, he plays 60 minutes for them, so it'd be really interesting about that. Just to answer the question for InnoTap, yes. So they have an agreement between the IIHF, the Olympics, and the NHL, and also the NHL pay, Michael. If ever the COVID-19 make put in jeopardy the season of NHL, and it's not about 10 game, 15. I don't know exactly what is the jeopardy or the boundaries of what they can changing, but they have an agreement where it's to impact their schedule of the NHL first. They will not play in the Olympic.
Interesting. I wonder what the backup plan is there. Like, who would they send? Would the Olympics just not play?
They not play. No.
Okay.
They not play. Yeah.
Yeah, interesting. Well, I guess they got to think about that stuff ahead of time. So that's an interesting comment.
Oh, they have a deadline also about this. I cannot give you the deadline about that one of them. I'll talk about the deadline, Michael. The March 21st is the deadline for the trade for this season because the Olympics. So usually we know this is in February. This is a normal schedule. But because the Olympic push everything 3 weeks, they push the 3 weeks, honestly, the trade deadline. And don't worry about this, Corey, about yesterday. It's part of where we are. And I'll be honest with you, we really, and first of all, you can take responsibility and you are accountable of what you said, whatever it is. I'll be honest with you, this is what makes someone special. You just prove it by what you just wrote here. So thanks again, buddy. I appreciate a lot.
Appreciate you guys not arguing in the chat. Wanted to mention one other thing. Former Everett Silvertip, Jujhar Kharia, formerly an Edmonton Oiler, he scored last night. So I think he'll settle in nicely in Chicago as the fourth line center. He's a big guy. He can play a little bit of wing. So it's nice to see him get a goal. He's capable.
My concern, he played only 12 minutes yesterday. So
I think that's going to be normal for him. I think he'll play 12, 13 minutes. So that
my concern is like what, I mean, like a game like this where he play only 12 versus other players, So I don't know about that. I have just curious about why he played 12 minutes. So.
Look at the hits on him, Pierre. He had 7 hits.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think that's good.
The problem has now become just a concussion problem. That's why he is.
Yeah, maybe. I don't think so. I think he's healthy.
No. I just said his problem is a concussion. Like, I don't say he was hurt. I just said the last year 2 times back to back concussion. That's why I just bring this.
He's definitely had some history of that. I want to go to the New Jersey game against the Capitals.
Michael, I can tell you, the New Jersey Devils went to the Stanley Cup in 2027, 2028.
Oh, they're going to win, you think?
Yeah.
It's like Sharangovich. He ain't
it's a joke, Michael, but at the end of the day, this team, Michael, are on the right direction. You talk about the Ottawa, right? But I think the Devils are maybe going to be better.
They might be because, like, Jack Hughes looks like he's ready. Alexander Holtz, I'd be shocked if he's not in the NHL. Did you see that laser shot he had off the wing?
Alexander Holtz yesterday was unbelievable.
Unbelievable, Pierre. He comes down the wing on a 2-on-1. Instead of passing, he just picks the corner.
Yep. No, he is unbelievable about that. And I know Joseph now with us. We know he loved the New Jersey Devils, Michael. But Sharangovich, again, he just did what he just did yesterday, what he did all year long, last season, right? Then you're absolutely right about Jack Hughes. What I said is going to be a breakout season for him. All step up over there. We talk about Raymond all the time, but I think, and then what about Dawson Mercer? Consistent press. So my question would be, what do you do with those 2 kids? That would be the biggest question for the next 10 days for them.
I don't think there's a question, Pierre. These guys are on the team. Like, if you watch the prospect tournament, Dawson Mercer was awesome in the prospect tournament. Like, he does not take a shift off, Pierre. You could put him on the 3rd line, he's going to score. You could put him on the 2nd line, he's going to score. And that goal last night, it was like there was no room, and it went in. Like, that was awesome. Yeah. So, and then Nico Hischier gets the game winner. So if he's healthy, that's really good for them. I see him settling in as their second line center, a good two-way player. So overall, I mean, again, it's obviously against a depleted lineup, but what we're seeing, the other guy that looks good is Nolan Foote. Like Nolan Foote and Graham Clark both looking pretty solid there. So I don't know. I think they're an interesting group.
To answer to NR how do you compare to LA, Detroit? I think I have the right answer. It's a little bit more like LA. I think Detroit are not the same boat. I'll be honest with you, because Detroit don't have veteran players where they are like Doug Hamilton or Kopitar or Drody. Detroit are not this. I think LA is really similar with the New Jersey Devils, where they are rebuilding, but at the same time, they have already a established player been in the NHL, and they have been great. So that's my compared to Ottawa, are more similar like Detroit in my eyes, because I think they are not the same kind of player where they have like LA and New Jersey. So Devils can create a lot of buzz for the upcoming season, for this season, and I think we don't give them enough credit, or we don't see them at the level like the Rangers or the Flyers, right? I think there are three teams right there. So Devils guys, I think they will not make the playoff, but I wouldn't be surprised they can finish fifth in that division.
The last time this happened, where there were three brothers, would be the Sutters. There was five of them. Good morning, Canadian Giant. Thanks for joining us. Pierre, I wanted to comment on that because, the one thing that Detroit has not had, they've never had a first overall draft pick like Jack Hughes. And I think that they had another first overall draft pick in Nico Hischier. So you got two guys that are probably very, very high end. I don't think Hischier is a true number one centerman, never was, but he's a good number two. And Hughes is legitimately a world-class talent. And I think as his body continues to mature, they're going to be.
Well, Michael, you talk about a punch 1 and 2, right? In the NHL, maybe not the physicality of them, like the big center, everything like that. On the flip side, this center can carry on 60 points per year,
right,
for both of them. So that's on the flip side on the Devils. And also they're going to have a lot of good winger about that. And then, you didn't even mention Dawson Mercer right now, and you don't talk about Holtz right there. And, you have Sharankovic. We don't talk about Brett, and we don't talk about Zacha over there yet.
Well, I was going to say Pavel Zacha. Lindy Ruff loves Pavel Zacha, and this guy can play the wing and center. And they're asking Lindy Ruff, like, well, where are you going to play him? He goes, everywhere. I'm like, he's matured. This was a guy that was a fourth overall draft pick, took some time. He's a big guy that can shoot the puck. Like, he's a good player. So they're interesting. Yep. And then, to acquire a guy like Dougie Hamilton, I think I feel like they've leapfrogged Ottawa right now. We'll see it in the results or not, but I think their goaltending is much better than Ottawa.
Like, you didn't talk about Ty Smith?
We have Ty Smith. You also have Mackenzie Blackwood and a senior goalie in Jonathan Bernier. Like, they're an interesting team, Pierre. And then Kevin Ball. I'd be shocked if Kevin Ball is not on the opening night roster.
It's another one you have to wait a little bit more like other players, right? Because he's a big body, 6'3", 6'5", I believe, if he's this
way. Pierre.
Right? So I think it's a little bit those kind of size, Michael, at least you have Shara, they are usually came in the league a little bit late. So they have to readjust their skating and the speed, everything like that. So usually takes a little bit longer, 6'6" right there. So
yeah, I think he's a little bigger than 6'6". Like, I think he's closer to 6'8", they say. So he's like 6'7" and change. And he played 7 games for them last year, but if you watched him in the prospect tournament, you watch him in camp, it's like I think
for him, if he's ready, I think a third pair or maybe a defense number 7 and learning about that, I think that was the right spot for him.
Yeah,
at that moment.
About though, right? Like, I think New Jersey is going to be a fun team to watch. We saw Columbus win again 5-2.
I think Yamo talked about the Finland 04 born 17 years old Joachim Kemel have started the league on fire with 6 games, 9 points. Some 17 years old like Brett Lambert have 7 games, only 1 point. I think you're going to see a Lambert jumping a little bit. I don't say compared to Ratti, right? But Lambert is going to be not surprised go from 4th to 9 or 10 at some point.
I think he is. I think you're absolutely right, Pierre. And we said this before because last year he really did not produce well at the Worlds. Like at the U18s, he didn't score. He had 4 assists, and he was playing a lot of minutes. So I think that he's an overager, Pierre. He's a 2003 that's going to be drafted with 2004s. So yes, he was young at the World Juniors, but now he's old versus his draft class.
And came in on my book, Michael. He was on 15 on my prospect one at the beginning of the year. So I think he will drop a little bit more lower. And I think we don't mention about Savoie, Nemec, and Jurasic over there.
Or
and Yorav have a great year so far. So, you know, Loken, Coley did not play yet. But I think that's one of the reason why Lambert could be dropped a little bit at some point in that lineup on that, you know. Of course, you have to take time about this, but really have to see.
This defenseman, Simon Nemec, is playing pro in Slovakia, and he would have been the first overall pick in the CHL draft. I don't think there's been a better Slovakian defensive prospect ever. Like he is the real deal. Every single tournament, he's like one of the top scorers, and he's an excellent defender. He's a right shot. So I would absolutely see him leapfrogging a Brad Lambert. And you mentioned Savoy. I think Jurasic, the Czech defenseman's probably where he is. But Connor Geekie, I think Connor Geekie's better than him, and Slavkovsky's better than him. So it's going to be interesting to see. I think
Slavkovsky's doing well, by the way, so far. So some of them play already, right, Michael? Some are not there yet. So that's a little bit the difference between, but would be interesting. But talking about the prospect like this, Michael, is it possible Fabien Lysell is a property of the Vancouver Giants? What I heard this morning on Twitter looked like he's going to play there this year.
Yeah, that probably makes sense. I would see them wanting him in the WHL.
It's not confirmed nowhere yet, but I see press by Michael Colwell, whatever his last name, and I was busy to come back here. I see Fabien with, and I didn't see Lysell. I just see Fabien. Welcome, like Fabien with the Vancouver Giants, and then I cannot find nowhere.
Yeah, so no. He was drafted by Vancouver in the expansion draft, and if he doesn't play in Boston, I kind of thought he would play in the AHL. To be honest with you, because they could do that.
I thought he was returning oversee me.
No, I don't think so. I don't think he's going back. I think
so that makes sense now. He go to Giants.
Yeah.
Right?
But he might go to the AHL because he's
it looked like he's going to WHL.
Yeah, you might be right. That would suck for us.
I just let you know that it's just what I see this morning. Question for Corey, Michael, to you. I'll let you know answer. What do you think of Riley Gregg before the suspension?
I'm not sure how good he's going to be. I mean, I kind of thought he would always be like a third line guy that can score a little bit, but maybe he's better. I don't know. I haven't watched him enough to really say, like, is this he a second line player? Or is he a third line player? I don't think he's a top line player.
No, I don't see that level.
Lambert's 03 and news for this season, trouble making a lineup. Yeah, I think he had trouble in the U18s too, Yarmo. So I think he's kind of peaked a little bit. We were excited because he was 16. He's obviously got good skills, but he doesn't have finish, and he's a perimeter player. So I think this is just
early, right? It's still beginning of year, but it would be interesting to follow him for the upcoming season.
For sure. But last year, honestly, Pierre, if you watched him, I was not that impressed. He played on the perimeter a lot. And he's got to be a guy that is creating offense. He's not that big.
Yeah.
This year's draft is deep. If teams don't have a first-round pick, they can get good players in the second or third. Yeah, there's definitely a lot of good players in this draft. There will be a lot of over age 03s that are going to mature. I think that they're pretty interesting. Chara, many big Slovakian D players around. Well, I think that Nemec is nothing like Chara. He's like 6'1", smooth skating defenseman, handles the puck, sees the ice, shoots the puck really well, very high hockey IQ. So Chara for sure is the greatest from Slovakia, but for different reasons. This player is very highly skilled. If you look at Simon Nemec, he's going to go above Lambert, in my opinion. All right, so some other news in some other games were interesting. Toronto wins 4-0 against the depleted Ottawa squad. But the story here is Josh Ho-Sang and Michael Bunting. And Josh Ho-Sang's been on a PTO with Toronto. There's no, Josh Hosang grew up in Toronto. Yeah, I don't know if there was. Lane Lambert is his dad, and Lane Lambert's a coach. I don't know if he's with the Islanders or who he's with now, but Lane Lambert played in the NHL for Quebec, and he played for Detroit. I think he played somewhere else, but that's his dad. No, actually, that's his uncle, and his dad might be who you're talking about. So I can't remember, but his dad played overseas. That's why he's in Finland. So that's Lane. What's his it? Chris? Might be Chris. I can't remember. I'll have to look up his dad's name. All right. So again, this was interesting last night because Josh Hosang, we've watched Josh Hosang as a 1996 birth year player play for the GTHL Toronto Marlies. And there was another player on that team by the name of Connor McDavid. So you had Connor McDavid, Josh Hosang, and Sam Bennett all on the same team. And there was always talk like who's better. To me, it was no comparison. And we see in reality, there's no comparison. Like McDavid's obviously the best player in the world, but that's how much skill Hosang had. And we said very well documented like troubles where he's kind of undisciplined and he makes some boneheaded mistakes, but he's making a real case to at least get signed to the AHL. We know he's produced at the AHL. I don't think there's any limit to his talent. And I think it's interesting that they also played him on a line with John Tavares in the previous game. Michael Bunting, another GTHL player the Don Mills Flyers, gets 3 goals. And if you look at his goals last year, Pierre, this guy can really score. Like he finds space, and he had 10 goals in 21 games. So it's going to be interesting. I think Bunting's going to have a really great year with the Leafs. He fits in real well. And it'll be interesting to see if they sign Hosang. I'd be very surprised if they don't at this point. The other guy that's playing really well is David Kampf. Like this might be the best pickup. This is exactly maybe what they needed, Pierre. This is a 4th line guy that can flex up to 3rd. He's big down the middle. He's good on faceoffs, and he's gritty. So that he might be the type of player that the Leafs need more than anything right now.
Yeah, he is the best player so far in the camp over there is David Kampf so far. Yeah. They talk about maybe put him on the 3rd line as a center and put Jason Spezza number 4 every time that. So maybe the best thing. The second thing after that you mentioned is Bunting. Hosang, I don't see. I think more he's going to be with Marlins.
Probably.
That's not. I don't see what he can make the lineup every time that. The point is like, it's a preseason game, but I think so far Bunting show he can score. Would be interesting. Him, Case, Ritchie, Robinson, a little bit quiet Robinson. So it'll be, how he's going to be at the end of the night, but at the end of the camp. But I think Michael Bunting could be the one on the top 6 over there with Case or Ritchie at that moment.
Anthony
Manzano doing well, Michael. They can move also Kerfoot on the left wing with Tavares and Nylander, and that would give them Calf with Ritchie or Case or everything like that with Mikheyev if it's part. So that's a lot of questions you can do about this. What do you think about Sendon Goodyear? I think he's going to be the 3rd pair defenseman. He's still 22, 23. Need experience, but he's another one can little bit what Morgan Riley does, Michael, on the one side where he carry on the puck a lot, and he's really good on the quarterback as a PP unit number 2 for the Toronto Maple Leafs. So that's my expectation about him for the upcoming season.
As far as defensemen go, I don't see anybody like this from the U.S. This draft is heavier with Europeans and Canadians. So the 04 group is going to have Shane Wright right at the top. There's really good Russian players. There's the 2 Slovakian players are very good. There's the Czech defenseman's very good, but there's some good like U.S. born defensemen, but I don't see them they might be late 1st round or mid.
Not like Chelios or Brandley.
There's nobody like that. Absolutely not. Well, speaking of Noel, so in the Florida game last night, Serron Noel had a very good prospect camp, Pierre. We always think he's older than he is, but he's the same age as a Heponiemi. But this guy's 6'5". He scored a nice goal last night in the 3rd period. It was the eventual game winner, I believe. They did the shootout anyway, but it was the 4-3 goal. And against, there was a lot of veterans in the lineup for Dallas last night. They had Jamie.
Yeah, it was like, one American Hockey League versus an NHL league yesterday. The key yesterday was really Dallas should win. Gibson maybe play his game of his life between the
Yeah,
pipe for the Florida Panthers. Serron Noel have a great game. I agree, and also I think for me, Iponiemi have a good game for the Florida Panthers. More like people think about this. I think the kid show a lot of more what I never see so far. So some kids step up. Noel, Iponiemi. Overall, the D was not strong, but Gibson was really where up. Asco, he have a really. I don't think so. I think he's going to be. If you want to play in NHL, he cannot play with Florida Panthers. Someone have to get trade to open up the door for him. But the team we get him, Michael, will be very like a young team. They will like this kid. This kid have a really downside. He's not big, he's small, but he's fast, and he's always have the puck around him. Like I don't know what he does, how he does it, but
he's
the
one of
puck
those
is always
players.
go around him.
He is. He had a great prospect camp, Pierre. Like he's a little bit older, right? Like he's played 4 years at Boston College.
Yeah.
You know, he's like, what is he, 22? 22. So, and he's a former Shattuck St. Mary's guy. So he had huge
He
numbers.
was U18, right? U17.
Even like younger, like at Bantam, he played there. So, and U17 with the U.S. development program. So this is a good player. I mean, I think that you're right. He probably will have a hard time sticking in Florida, but for someone, he's going to be a good kind of third line type guy that can flex up to the second if you need him. It was good to see Ryan Suter out there. And yeah, Chris Gibson is a guy that's always maybe had a little bit of trouble like with his fitness. He was a Quebec major junior goalie, and he's got the talent, and he's an experienced AHL goalie, played a little bit in the ECHL. And yeah, good for him to get a little bit of a cup of coffee there. I don't think he's going to get a job, but nice to see.
Obviously,
Yeah.
he's going to be with Montembeault and Charlotte, honestly. But it's good to see him. Like the only reason because Dallas was stacked with Seguin and the band. You can see Seguin have two great chances to score. He sent the puck over the net. You can see they're all rusty, right? Overall, but he let them skating. Everything like that was good for them. So that's what happening for that game for me.
It's giving us to see like some of the stories in that camp. This is good news if you are a Dallas fan. Ty Dellandrea, he's getting some ice time. I don't think he's going to stick with the team right now, but he'll eventually be a good player. Riley Tufts continues to be an effective player. He's a big body, and I think he
did not play well yesterday.
Didn't think so.
Him and Dellandrea are
Dellandrea
two rookies where they have a chance, opportunity to go around, and both of them look only 11 minutes yesterday. Kevin Ranta have a difficult time, So I think overall. It was great to see Johnson have 19 minutes yesterday, play with a big guy. It was good to see Wyatt. I did sign a contract with them yesterday or the day before, a 3 years contract. So it was good to see him join that part. But,
This Peterson player, Jacob Peterson, Swedish player, he had a great prospect camp here. I think he might stick on the bottom 4. I think it's going to be tough. Like he'll be maybe taxi squad, but he's pushing on the door. Like he's a little bit older. And you're right. Wyatt Johnson looked real good, but I don't think he's any better than Peterson right now.
Well, he's just a kid. He's 18 years old. So
is he only 18?
Well, he maybe turned 19 now, but
wow. Okay, yeah, he's going to be interesting. So keep an eye on him. All right. So good game for Serron, who got the game-winning goal.
You have a couple of questions, Michael. You have. How you be from me? How active do you see the waiver been? You go to see a couple whether at some point maybe the end of the contract or something like that. Not much at the beginning, right now, but it's going to be more and more when the season start, like he does every year. That's happened about the waiver. It's just like the rules. Like if you are play over 150 game in NHL, you have to put on the waiver list. So.
Josh Norris is really good at the faceoff circle. Yeah, he's a solid centerman. I think he's very capable of playing center. I'm not sure is he a true number 1? We'll find out, but I think they're in good shape at center in Ottawa.
Yeah, it's funny they did not use Tim Suzzle with Norris or Pinto, Thierry. I don't know. They have an article about the fact they they use not the right way right now with Tim Suffolk, but it's a preseason game, so I'm not worried about that.
Yeah, there's something weird going on there. I don't know what it is because that's the guy I would be pushing him. The more you play him, the better he's going to get. I don't know. Is Lundell making a case to stick with the team right now?
I don't think so. I think Lundell's going to be an American Hockey League. I think he's going to go
right.
down over there, because he's missing now a full weeks of the camp.
Yeah.
And I don't know if he's going to be back. So I didn't look at the news for today. But at that moment right now, I don't see him over there. Lundell participate over there. Obviously, Opiniami is under the one and the stock of the ladder where everybody is there. So yeah, maybe no room for him about that one over there.
Yep. I don't see Joe Thornton playing third line minutes. I don't think he can handle that responsibility at his age. Like we saw last year, he struggled to keep up in Toronto. He'll be on the wing.
It's more like a four line, right? So I think he would. And I think they would put him on the left wing side, not on the center. So that would give him the channel over there. So four line over there, a couple of minutes sometime on the power play unit number 2. That'll be what the role is Joe Thornton over there.
Full capacity of the Bell Center as of October 8th. So that's interesting news. I guess I'm not shocked. If anything changes politics, it's hockey in Quebec. The Red Wings didn't have their big dogs. That's true. There was no Pius Suter. Dylan Larkin remains out. He is not ready to play yet. Bertuzzi wasn't in the game. The guy that looks really good, though, Pierre, and I think you mentioned this before, is Michael Rasmussen. He continues to improve his skating. Like, I think he's better than last year even. And he's a big guy, and he's got such good hands. Like, it's going to be interesting to see what he can produce. And they didn't have Zadini. They didn't have Vrana. The Vrana thing's concerning me, though, the shoulder injury.
Yeah. I think KT and for everybody else, right? It's a preseason game, so do not worry about the score. Do not worry about the players. It's the first week, so they still have. They have half of the at least 20 kids are American Hockey League or junior still there. So you have to wait. Honestly, next week at the second, like next week, you're going to see the change. Monday, a lot of American Hockey League start, Michael, the training camp. A lot of the cut players for the team. You're going to see a better lineup for next week. And at the end of the week, they are going to prepare for the season. So do not worry about the outcome about this. The Hawks be fine. Everybody will be fine. It's just like it's like someone like Michael was saying yesterday. Oh, they beat the American Hockey League beat Dallas. Don't worry about Dallas also. You know what I mean? Like, Dallas again played 2 games last season, Michael. So they have the time to be rusty. Red Zilla play 11 game over there. And for me, it's just the way I see this. It's just let them get back in the shape and be ready. One that will count, you're going to see those veterans show up. And all the players where they have the 2-point, 3-point, and they are not, NHL player yet, they would be back what they're supposed to be. That's how it works. You're going to have one surprise, and then after 10 games, back normal. One thing we didn't mention earlier is Andrix Lapierre scored again another 2 assists yesterday. He's already 4 points. Can he be in the part of that roster? Or would be interesting about that one over there. It's someone to follow up for the next couple of days. And what it will be is set to go at the end of the camp. But great performance of Lapierre so far with the Washington Capitals. We slid that comments, but 4 points so far.
Wow, good. He's a talented player. He just always had I think he had concussion injuries and then a lot of penalties, suspensions, right?
He's a good player. So would be interesting if he can make the lineup. I just want to mention because we focus on the Devils at that moment, but And then Ottawa signed yesterday at 3 level. Yeah, Zach Odepchuk happening yesterday, Michael, at 3 years ELC for the Ottawa yesterday. So
I want to make this announcement. Edmonton Oilers have no goalie prospect that I can see is any good.
Yeah. I don't think so. The Russian have a chance right now.
Konovalov wasn't very good. Skinner was worse. Now they do still have Olivier Rodrigue, so I won't put that past him, but I don't see him as a number 1 in the NHL. So it's kind of glaring. Now, that being said, Evgeny Svechnikov, I don't understand this. This is a big 6'3" guy. He's got good hands. He always goes to hard areas. He trains very, very hard off the ice, Pierre. Like, this guy works harder than anyone you would know. If you saw his off-ice routine with his brother, who's a star, obviously, in Carolina, I don't understand. And he comes in, he gets 3 points last night. And you can see, like, he fits in really well. I'd be shocked if Winnipeg doesn't sign him. He would be a very good third-line player for them.
Yeah.
By
the way, ESPN announced today. By the way, Michael, Constance, I have a big news to tell you what's going on with. I got everything fixed for the TV station, everything like that.
Okay. So we saw Seattle play Calgary yesterday. Obviously, again, mixed lineup. But the interesting story was Mark Giordano, the former captain of the Calgary Flames, his first, I think it was his first shift maybe, gets a goal yesterday. He pinches in, goes backhand between the legs on Vladar. It was a pretty sweet goal, Pierre, if you saw it. So he was pretty excited. Kachuk scored yesterday. Michael Stone got a goal. Jaden Schwartz looks very good, and so does Everly, by the way. So I think these are probably, I was concerned about some of the pickups, but when you really look at it, I think Ron Francis and team did a very good job. They're going to be fine. They'll be competitive. He acknowledged yesterday that, people are asking who's going to score goals, but I think they'll get it done by committee. They got enough depth there. Still don't have an arena. And I don't know if you noticed last night when they're showing all these like glowing little like videos again, they keep doing this, Pierre, where they're like, we're so excited about Climate Pledge Arena. The arena's never done in any of the videos. These are not old videos, Pierre. This is the way the arena looks right now. It is not complete. I anticipate problems in a month. I just don't see how they're going to get around that. Good morning, Bud the Monkey. Thank you for joining us. The Charlotte Checkers beat the Dallas Stars yesterday. That is probably true. The other game that we saw was Arizona. Oh, come on.
I know.
Yeah, there we go. Lawson Krause popped a couple goals. It's interesting. Cam Dineen. So this is, another Dineen in the NHL. So that's kind of interesting. He won't stick, I don't think. He'll be in the AHL. Barrett Hayton gets on the board. I think it'll be interesting to see how does Hayton do. He was drafted probably too high, but can he stick? I think he's capable of sticking in the NHL, but he only gets 6 minutes yesterday, Pierre. So that's kind of concerning for them. I just don't know what's going to happen with that. Even Boko Amama, who, if you've ever watched him, is kind of a one-dimensional.
If he plays 6 minutes, I'm sure you have an injury over there.
I hope so, but I don't know. It's because he got 2 shots, so I don't know what happened there. That's a little bit concerning either way. Galchenyuk has played 16 minutes, Pierre.
Yep.
And the good news is he wasn't a minus. Dylan Gunther only got.
I heard like he's going to have a contract over there, but I have to look watching.
I don't get that. The guy they paid a lot of money to, Jaskin, is yet to get on the board. So that's like they gave this guy $3.2 million to come back.
Yep.
The player that's probably exciting though for them is Victor Soderstrom. I think he's probably going to be their top 3 this year, the way it looks. He looks like he's ready. Anaheim is what Anaheim is. And the guy that actually, I was going to say this, when I went to the training camp here, the guy I was not impressed with was Trevor Zegras. Like, Trevor Zegras in practice doesn't seem to care. Like, he's doing drills like they don't matter. Have you ever seen it? You see a player like that, like the guy that comes to mind is Phil Kessel. Like, you see him just messing around in practice. And I don't think that bodes well, because that's the guy they're counting on to be their number 1 centerman. It's a bit concerning. He did not stand out for me at all.
I didn't watch the game at all, so I don't know.
-2.
He -2. Like Contois -2, and Raquel is -2. So that line struggled, honestly.
Yeah.
They put all the first line, so that line's supposed to be better, and all 3 did not do well over there.
Not do well.
But again, the goaltender is tough stall, and that's what I said. I'm not worried about this. It's to worry about, Ducks have 0-8, Michael, on power play.
Yeah, they're going to be terrible this year.
So.
All right, so I don't know. We got some games coming up tonight. Nashville versus Tampa at 7 p.m.
We did all the 8 game?
Yep.
Really?
Yep. New Jersey, St. Louis, and Columbus.
We never talked about St. Louis, Columbus.
We kind of mentioned it.
Oh.
Yeah, I kind of went over it fairly quickly. Laine got an assist. Voracek got an assist. Boone Jenner gets a couple goals. The guy that actually played okay was Charlie Lindgren. So his brother, I think, is Ryan Lindgren. He's a former Montreal Canadian prospect. So that was interesting for St. Louis. The long-term goalie prospect is Joel Hofer. His brother Ryan plays for the Everett Silvertips, and he was a Team Canada goalie. So he didn't do great. They kind of split the game. For Columbus, they continue to roll on, Pierre. It's interesting. This goalie actually did very well. So this has been the goalie that's like in the wings for them, which is Daniel Tarasov. And he had 962 save percentage last night. He played very well.
Yeah.
Cole Sillinger was a -1, but played 17 minutes. -1 for Laine. I don't know if much has changed.
You want
there.
to answer to Yamo, or I can, but you can.
Who's the young center who played the first line? Was it not Sillinger?
I thought it was. Is it not Chanikov?
Is Chinikov playing center?
I don't know.
He's
I
a
didn't
winger.
look the game, honestly, but
Yeah, I think it was Sillinger.
yeah.
I mean, right now, Sillinger, he didn't play amazing last night, but he didn't play poorly. Like, I think so far, though, I mean, he looks like he's got the ability to play in the NHL. Like, I would not be shocked to see them keep him for 9 games.
I think they would keep both of them at the beginning.
I think so. Wow. What is going on? Nothing. It's not really helpful.
Yeah, Serron Noel, we talked about this by the Monkey earlier. Did a very good game yesterday overall. Again,
Great in the showcase.
the problem there is like there are no room for them. I don't know what they're going to do.
Well, I mean, one obvious thing is that Anton Lundell, to your point, will be in the AHL. I don't see Jumbo Joe having regular ice time in an 82-game schedule. So there might be some room there. But is he a left winger or he's a right winger, isn't he?
He's a right wing, I believe.
Yeah, but they
But
could always
again, the problem, Michael, you have Lemico, you have Listerinen, you have Acheri, Marchman over there, you have Lomberg over there. And and then we don't talk about Denisenko. Now he can keep them, like you said, 9 game and testing out that. But you talk about Epiniemi, Noel, Denisenko. So it's a lot of player there.
Yeah, listen, they're going to be a super deep team. But he's making a case, Pierre. He looks like, I don't know how you keep him out. He's like 6'5", he's skating well, and he's scoring goals. And that's all you can ever ask for him. So I think at some point he's going to be in that lineup. Maybe it's not at the beginning. Jakob Silver. Oh, by the way, Cole Sillinger, Yarmo, is their first-round draft pick. So they acquired him in the trade with Chicago for Seth Jones. So they got Adam Bachfist and Cole Sillinger. So I think this is going to work out very well for them long-term.
Yeah, yeah, he was a part of the, the pick to get the 12 overall for that one over there. Again, what can is it yesterday I mentioned this? Ottawa Senators is going to be always compare Ty Boucher to Cole Sillinger.
Oh my God, for sure. Like this looks worse and worse.
There'll be one they will compare that one, make maybe Ottawa Pierre Dorion look bad about that one. That would be interesting to see that. But yeah, he's a great player. I think he's doing well. And it would be interesting if he's going to. But I wouldn't be surprised Columbus let him try the first 9 games or something like that with Chenikov. At that moment, Chenikov might have a step over Sillinger to be a part of the team.
But one's a centerman and one's a winger. And I think Chinikov's obviously going to be in this roster the way he looks.
Yeah. He's a right wing. But just like the way he was talking, Chenikov have a more chance to make the team at that moment. For sure. Would be interesting about that. Now they're skating today. That's good news to hear that.
So that's interesting. I'm glad to hear that Noah Juleson did well. I hope he sticks in a top 6 role. If he can play in the bottom 6 for Florida, that'd be really helpful. He's another right shot defenseman, which they don't need. They need a left shot, but you could probably play Noah on the left side. I think he played left side for Team Canada. So I think he'll be fine. He's a great kid, and he's got a lot of ability. Like, so if he's healthy,
I think they would keep Kevin Connaughton at the beginning because, again, they can send Johnson a two-way contract every time at the beginning.
Oh no, I think Yulton has to clear waivers, Pierre.
I'm sorry again.
I think he might have to clear waivers.
But not at the beginning because honestly, he's already a child. He's not part of the NHL there right away, so they can send him right away without they put on the waiver.
I think he has to clear because of his age. Because he's like 23 now, isn't he?
Yeah, but everybody, Michael, have not like you have a two-way contract. You don't have to put this right away at the beginning of the year. It's like a camp, right? So they are not on the lineup roster 23 at the beginning. So
yeah, maybe
that's what's happening. Like, you know what I mean? Like, because if not, everybody will be on the waiver list at the beginning of the year. So that's what happened about him.
Sorry, I'm late.
And I don't think so. He have 150 game, by the way. Can you drop lower?
Yeah, he definitely does. I don't think so. No, 23, 44.
No.
48.
He still not need to go on the waiver list.
This is bad news.
Very bad news.
So that means he lost for the year, probably. Wow, I cannot. That's terrible news.
Wow.
Terrible. Sorry, one sec here. Sun is killing me here. There we go. Wow, that's absolutely horrible news for Detroit.
Foreman.
Ugh.
Ouch. This is not what you want to hear at the beginning of the year. Ouch.
No, not at all. And the risk with him, the risk with him too is anytime a guy gets one shoulder, the other one tends to go. So this is not cool. Yikes. Bad news.
Yep.
Very unfortunate. Bummer. Well, that's not good news. We were looking forward to seeing him. That's unfortunate.
Foreman, yeah, that's why he said Johnny.
I think it's a no-brainer they sign Bobby Ryan at this point.
Oh, they will.
I mean, that seems to be absolutely a no-brainer at this point. Because you already have Dylan Larkin's not back. And, you know, they're going to miss if Tyler Bertuzzi isn't getting any games in Canada. And, I mean,
he missed only 9 games, Michael. It's not the end of the world.
No, but it's still, you're going to need a body there, right?
But I think that opened up the door for Lucas Raymond.
I don't see how Raymond is not on this team in the top 6. Like, he is so good. I don't get it. I think he's got to be on the roster no matter what. Even if those guys were in, he's on the roster. Like, he's probably their second best right winger next to Vrana. That puts him in the top.
I don't know, but that's what's happening for sure.
He looks great so far. I mean, his skill level is another level compared to everybody on that team right now. But yeah, you're right. I think it definitely kind of solidifies that. I'd be shocked if it doesn't. If he goes to
welcome, Roger Delaney, Michael. Roger back in the house. No problem with that part over there. Let's finish 5 minutes. Michael, check about the game for tonight. We don't have no news around the league at that moment or the effect ran up.
So we've got Predators versus Lightning, Flyers and Bruins. This is on TNT. Sabres and Red Wings. I don't see it anywhere, so I don't know if it's going to be on ESPN or not. The Wild and the Avalanche. So I wonder if we'll get to see Kaprizov tonight. That'll be interesting to see. And will Marco Rossi be in the lineup? Those are the two players that I would like to see play together. Sharks and Ducks. I don't know. Sharks don't look great to me, Pierre. I think this is going to be another rough year for them.
Yep.
Golden Knights and Kings. I'm really looking for some breakout from some of the players, like Samuel Fagemo would be one. Kaliev. I don't know what we're going to see from Turcotte. And right now, I just don't see them. I mean, they might keep Quinton Byfield, but I think he's slated for the AHL. He does not look great to me.
Only one game tomorrow night. Tonight, Michael, is San Jose Sharks and Anaheim Ducks at 10 o'clock on ESPN Plus, and then tomorrow we're going to look for the Montreal Canadiens out on ESPN. So I'm going to watching ESPN Montreal Canadiens and Ottawa Senator.
Cool.
That's happening tomorrow, Friday, and they are also St. Louis, Chicago, Vancouver, Calgary. That's the ESPN. So talking about ESPN, Michael, we know we have a little bit more time to talk about this. So I read completely the situation about that. Was a great article about this. So the ESPN Plus, Michael, they become the NHL.tv. So
yeah,
that's
exactly, which I can't stand.
So that's what happening about this. They have no blackout. They have all the game out there. Every time that the only game they're going to miss and they're going to be back the next day. It's happening also last season is the TNT national game. Remember last season, Michael, if you have a NBC game on Sport Network, you cannot get that game on NHL.tv because it was blackout by the NBC agreement. That's the same thing happening. All the game on the NBC last year, live on the Saturday, Sunday, are going to be on ABC this season. So that's the same thing. For the people in Canada, the NHL.tv, it was already, Michael, before that, NHL.live, where it's carried on by Rogers. So nothing changed in Canada. People in Sweden, Finland, right? They're going to get those with a star or AirPlay, whatever they call it. Then the ESPN Plus are over 109 countries around the world. That's what you have to look about if they have ESPN Plus. But that's going on. Every Wednesday night, you're going to have a game for TNT, going to show up a double header TV about that one over there. So that's what overall happening about that.
Which game should you watch tonight? Let's take a look. I think I mentioned I'm interested in Minnesota. I want to see Kaprizov play with Rossi at some point. So that's the one game that I'm interested in. I mean, I'm always interested in Sabres or at Red Wings. It'll be interesting to see the Sabres. The young Sabres look pretty good, by the way, I got to admit. But they're
For me, it will be Colorado. I want to see this what they look like. When I said they look like, is somebody in Michael? Do you have a game, Kings Golden Knight on TNT?
Yeah, that's crazy.
So is it on cable TNT?
It's got to be.
Wow. So maybe the one I'm going to follow up tonight after the show. 9 o'clock, the Wild Avalanche. I want to see Avalanche, what kind of team they're going to get. And so, like you said, if Minnesota carry on the player or just wait. Because on my book, is it not the first game for Minnesota Wild?
Yeah, it is. I think it is.
So, to me,
this is the game.
That one over there.
Mostly, like I said, I want to see Kaprizov. I want to see Marco Rossi. I think those are the big players. I don't know if what's the goaltending situation? They don't have they don't have the young goalie over. Wallsted's probably in Sweden, so that's not interesting. You know who actually had a pretty good camp was Caden Addison. That'll be interesting to see what happens with him, but I don't anticipate him making the team.
No, I want to insert the statistic at the bottom. If you are blacked out by ESPN Plus, it's because the game is on your cable. Like here, we have Bally and Sport. So when the game is on Bally and Sport with the Panthers, Michael, it's blackout on ESPN on the TV on the ESPN Plus. So for you, Stratic, you should get that game on your Root. Is it Root Sport Network?
But he's in Canada though, isn't he?
What?
Oh no, he's in Seattle. Yeah, so he's in Seattle. So
you should get that game on the normal cable you have on the Sport.
On the local.
That's what's happening about that. Now, the game, Michael, is on ESPN normal, like ESPN or ESPN2, right? That game is going to be blacked out on the ESPN Plus during that game over there. It's good. You can watch the game the next day, 24 hours. That's the same rule happening. So if you're on that area, Stratic, and you don't have, ESPN Plus, which will black out you, it's because the game is on your cable channel wherever you are around. So I don't know the name of your channel sport.
It's Kong. It's
What?
KONG, Pierre. So it's the local channel in Seattle there. It's like the I don't know if it's NBC affiliate, but it's KONG is where the games will be locally.
Okay. So for some reason, Michael, every time they show count like this, it was on the Root Sport West, whatever they call it. So that'd be something to follow up. But Sretzig, you should have no problem if you guys. The good thing about this ESPN Plus, Michael, is $50 to $75 cheaper. So that's the good news about that one over there.
So you're gonna save me $60 because I used to spend
because NHL.TV, Michael, was between $119 to $139, depend what your
time.
If you buy early bird, everything like that, right? Now it's only $69, and you can also get all the other sport, Michael, streaming like baseball, football, and everything like that. You get all the article, everything. It's a great. I'll be honest with you, this is a great deal.
It's cheaper than what I was paying. I've always subscribed to NHL, so that's great. I'm happy about that.
So that's a good thing. The second thing I would say to you is, because people are a little bit frustrated, you don't know what's going on right now. But it's the same thing. That all the not the game and during preseason or live. Columbus, example, yesterday, Michael showed the game live on their website. That's what the NHL should do. That
I wish they would just do that.
I'm sorry.
I wish they would just do that.
But my point to you is like maybe not during the season, right? Because the cable money, they get the contract. But the preseason game, Michael, they should do this. They should accept this and put this on the website that we marketing more game you can see the preseason. People are excited to watching the game. Every time that should not be blackout at that moment before that.
It's interesting. Like, why wouldn't you? If you're broadcasting and you build up your YouTube channel, you're like the Seattle Kraken, and all your fans are watching your YouTube channel, it would be interesting to see, do they make more money that way than going with KONG?
Well, it's because they get more money from the TV cable, because now you get a sponsorship, you get all kind of stuff like that.
Maybe.
So the TV give you like $500,000, right? But the YouTube channel, you're never going to make $500,000.
You don't think so?
No. But what they should do, like the team is telling, like hire people like me and you, but not just kidding. But my point, they hire people, do a YouTube channel pre-game and post-game. Montreal Canadiens does this with the channel carry on their team, like LDS. So they have a post-game after the game. But like the Florida Panthers should have barely does a post-game after the game, or a Florida Panthers YouTube channel they have and go on the post-game after that. That's what you're going to carry on more people after the game. People want to hear more about interviewing a player. So it's a little bit what you do, but not everybody does it. Couple of questions for you. Okay. You said no blackout, so I thought maybe they would make a deal or something, but some like local blackout are still there.
It's always a mess.
Hey, qu'est-ce qu'il fait de bon, mon Québécois? Ton Bobby Ryan a très bien fait hier. Il y a 2 ou 3 points. Il y a un but gagnant en shootout, mon chum. Thanks for joining us. Don't forget to subscribe to the show. J'espère que tu vas t'inscrire au show.
It's not that easy, Johnny. It's annoying. It's like, why am I running around? It almost makes us, if we could get really good at this, I think it's like, I keep thinking about this. We need to update our website and share it with people. And we need to open our Discord. So
it's easy, Michael. It's just the preseason. When the season starts, we have only one place to go. Stream like ESPN Plus, like NHL.TV. That's simple. Maybe. That's nothing else. It's just like now the preseason, it's not show everywhere. That's only happening at that moment. The NHL Network is still there. You can watch the NHL Network. They're always going to be ready when the season starts. They are not show all the game on the NHL Network, and that's what's happening. It's just like people that feel like because the change of the name, they make the people thinking something wrong there. It's the same way happening. Kong said we're independent national and independent basic cable, not streaming cable back is like
weird. It's a weird setup. They have I don't even know why they did that deal with them. Like,
What about Olympics? Yamo is carry on by, I think they are NBC. I believe they carry on that, Michael.
I think so.
So, whatever you are in your country, usually they have a TV station or sponsorship, or they pay to get the rights to carry on the Olympics. So maybe in Finland, you have a specific cable TV, Yamo. Like us in USA, it should be NBC or maybe another channel. But usually NBC, Michael, carry on all the Olympics for years after years.
Yep. In the US for sure.
Yeah. So Canada example could be, the national TV on cable everywhere. So that's what happening about that one.
Yep. CBC, CTV usually, but I
Yep.
wouldn't be surprised to see Sportsnet in there. Who knows?
Yep.
Does anybody watch the Olympics anymore? The only thing I'm going to end up watching is hockey. I mean,
I enjoyed it ping pong this year, but that's another subject.
oh my God. I didn't watch any. I didn't care.
I did not watch it this year, but the summer one, Michael, I did not watch nothing.
But
And also, it's not easy, Michael, because the time frame, right? It's like 12 hours later, and we thought that was not easy to watching this or that.
It's not interesting. The US is, it's like
I was thinking about the show Olympic on YouTube. I don't think so. Again, they have rights, everything like that. But I think you can do. That's a good question, Michael. Remember we did the World Championship Junior.
Yep.
And we did not get nothing about this. We did not get. I think maybe we got copyright, but not. I don't think so. We got copyright on that one.
No, we didn't. It was on hockey TV, so it just depends if anybody cares. It's like you're not rebroadcasting TSN. If it's just like an independent stream on hockey.tv, I don't think that's a problem.
Yeah, that's happening about that. But I think the Olympics, Michael, maybe be right by other. Who knows, right? But again,
Probably.
if you do that way, who knows? I don't know. All right, for me, long day.
Thanks, guys. Have a wonderful day.
I will see you tomorrow. Friday, Michael. Somewhere we have to start about prediction if you want to do this.
Yeah,
at
okay.
some point. I'll be live tomorrow night, tonight, 9:00 p.m. It's all about fantasy hockey. Review a couple of games, but fantasy hockey is still that. The Hockey Nation Live Show, Fantasy Hockey, is scheduled Sunday morning, 11:00 Eastern Time. You just join us. If you are already inside the league, you get an email to you that the schedule was changed for Saturday to Sunday, 11:00. So thanks, Yamo. Glad to see you, buddy. 3-2 overtime, Yamo. I appreciate a lot. Corey, thanks to be a part of the show. Everybody else, 6, welcome back. The 9W official. Welcome to join us, Yamo and Inotap. Everybody else, Butter Monkey at the school. Thanks to stop by. Michael, thanks again for your today. We'll see you tomorrow morning at 11:00 Eastern Time. Have an amazing, great day, everybody.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, Johnny.